handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Welcome everyone to the Truth Table. I'm Paul Everton. This season 2, episode 40, 48, 47? I can't remember. I am very grateful my guest was able to get into my last final 8 days on Facebook. I will, of course, still be available on X, Rumble, YouTube, Instagram. So if you'd like to follow the show, the Truth Table itself is ending because I have fulfilled the mission of the Truth Table to lift the veil, lift the rock, and show the truth. And this show is, I don't know I don't know what I would have done in Anthony's place. He's a 25-year veteran. This show has been featured on Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Pierce Morgan. And I look forward to talking to him and sharing his story. And firsthand stories is what matters to me because, everyone has. It's the best to get a story from the person, the witness, and they can give you the clear perspective, firsthand knowledge of what happened. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Anthony Aguilar. Welcome to the Truth Table.
Thank you. No, it's great to be here. Thank you very much.
I don't know what I would have done in your situation. I'm so proud of your courage to just stand up. If you want, we can dig into Operation Epic Fury, and what that experience was like, and then move to Operation Roaring Lion. It's up to you. You can start wherever you like. I'm just so happy to have you here on the show. Thank you.
I'll start with the background in the question that you asked about what would you have done, what would anybody would have done, and if someone would have said to me ahead of time before I went to Gaza that in going to Gaza I would witness war crimes, and in reporting those war crimes and revealing those war crimes that I would be smeared and lambasted and threatened. I would have had a lot of stress about how should I approach this. But the truth is that when, in my experience in life, when you see something that is wrong and you see something that is unjustified and also is against your own values and morality, there's only one choice. There's only one option, and that's to speak out about it, call it, and do everything in your power to correct it and or bring justice to it. So in the moments that I witnessed what I saw in Gaza, for my position, there was no choice, and it has cost a lot, and I'm kind of I sometimes feel kind of cut in this middle position with some that you're a traitor, you're not a patriot, you're a disgrace to the military simply for calling out war crimes of the IDF. Like, how does that make me a traitor to the United States? And then on the other side of it, to the extreme, there's some that say, well, you served in the army for 25 years, you served the empire, you're part of the problem. So it's really feeling somewhere in the middle at times, and regardless of that, it's my duty to speak the truth about what I witnessed and what I saw, and to continue the pursuit of justice, and there will be justice.
Yeah, it does take a lot of courage, though, and yeah, I hope you're right. I mean, I would love to see a draining of the swamp. But you witness things that you can't live with. I don't know how they live with it, because the people that are doing it, I don't know how they sleep at night. A child is a child. It doesn't matter the color of their skin or any, where they live or their faith. So you see it as I see it, and I don't know how you did it. It would have been hard for me because I'm pretty sensitive. I'm not hardened, uh, boot camp hardened, to deal with that sort of uh, atrocity. I don't know if you have children. Do you have children yourself? Yeah, so that
I
would make
do.
it.
And the, part of, nothing, I don't think anything in life could ever prepare anyone for what
Yeah.
I witnessed in Gaza in terms of the absolute brutality towards unarmed civilians through
Hmm.
uh, just people trying to survive, mothers, fathers, brothers and sisters, grandmothers, grandfathers, siblings, children, especially young children. And nothing can prepare you for that. And that's one of the, when I witnessed that, it was absolutely shocking to me. It was very painful to see that, and then uh, the obligation that I felt then to call it out and to bring truth to that. It reminds me. I'm reminded of that every day as to why I'm speaking out, because
Hmm.
the what's happening is is just absolutely abysmal. It's evil.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what side is doing it. It's the act itself that's evil. It doesn't matter if you're allies or not either. A crime is a crime, uh, no matter what side you support or what side you're on. And yeah, we're seeing, and they're using Article 51 as an excuse to continue. Is that what they're doing?
Well, they kind of used Article 51 as the justification, on day one of this, in terms of um, now transitioning over to what we're seeing, the continuation of hostilities. Yeah, that's the excuse or the justification that they've cherry picked and have found to attach what's happening to that. And it's it's not accurate. It's not an accurate uh, analysis or application of Article 51.
Yeah, but let's them keep going and let them keep getting away with it. It's uh, it's something I'm not really built for. Like, I'm a musician. I put my heart and soul and my stress into music, and I store it there, and it doesn't overwhelm me as much. It's a survival mechanism. I don't know what a soldier would have to do to erase what they see. So I don't know how you could do it, but I'm so grateful, um, for your honesty, because honesty is really something that should unite all of us together, and bring us together and unite us and unify us, and not let these Article 51 to be used to justify something that's immoral. It doesn't make any sense. Why the children? Why is that necessary? Why are they such a threat? They're just kids. God, I mean, Israel is the only place on earth that has like a prison for children.
They do. And there's recent footage, recent accusations, recent analysis that's coming out of Gaza, of a Palestinian father who was taken with his young child, a 1-year-old,
Hmm.
and in order to question him or um, to terrorize him, to torture him, they burned cigarette butts into the arms and legs of this 1-year-old child. So there's no depth to their endless depth to their depravity, and That's
Mhm.
why, the truth must continue to be spoken, and in the hopes that the world community is going to stand and demand justice.
Yeah, I would like to see that, but you're right. They will come after us if we dare challenge them, and they will go after your character. And here's the prison here. If no one has ever seen it, I'll just play this here for a second.
Children are brought here for trial. Ophir military prison near Jerusalem. The army would not let Four Corners from inside.
I've been behind these walls 3 times. I saw children shuffling across the courtyard, handcuffed and shackled. Some hearings lasted 60 seconds. I saw one boy shout the name of his prison so his mother would know where he was being held. I saw the judge convict some children without even once looking at them. Through it all, what I saw was a conveyor belt of convicted children.
I think perhaps to give you some indication of how efficient from a military perspective the system is. According to the military court's own records, their annual report, the courts have a conviction rate of around 99.74%.
99% conviction rate of children guilty, all of them. It's insane. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know. So, what repercussions have you suffered because of your stand for the moral, having the only moral high ground in this situation, by doing the right thing, saying the right thing? What have they done to you because of
Well,
it?
they've attempted to smear me, and that's something that I can live with. Your reputation is what other people think of you. Your
Yep.
character is what you think of yourself.
Yep.
And my character is solid and uninfringed. In terms of my reputation, or what people that I don't even know, nor have I ever met, nor that do I ever care to be associated with, what they think about me,
Right.
really, really doesn't bother me. When I think about um, I'm fortunate that I am a fully retired pension receiving veteran and a disability receiving veteran. I'm 100% totally and permanently disabled. So between my veterans benefits and my retirement, I'm not incumbent upon any employer. I don't work for anybody. And I can continue to speak, not
Hmm.
worrying about my job being threatened or my career being threatened. There's been attempts at that by trying to discredit me as, quote unquote, I was a bad employee at the Gaza
Oh,
Humanitarian Foundation, or I was a bad military officer. And it's laughable because, if the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, that was implicit, complicit, and hand in hand as an accomplice in the killing of children, if they think that I was a bad employee because I spoke out against that, well, then
mhm.
sure, call me a bad employee. Doesn't bother me. And in terms of the the rest of the smearing campaign and whatnot, it's keyboard warriors behind keyboards
Yep.
far away. Most of them probably aren't even real people. They're bots and or paid agents of Israel to target people. Look at
Yep.
Joe Kent. Joe Kent resigned and called out Israel, and that very day, into the next day, the Trump administration, to include Donald Trump, was calling him weak, a traitor,
Yep.
etc. So the common denominator is, no matter how much of a patriot, hero, or selfless service you've given to this nation, it doesn't matter. The common denominator is Israel. As soon as you speak out against Israel in any form or fashion, you become a pariah. And the more and more people that speak out about what they know and what they've seen and stand up against it, if we all become pariahs, well, then those that stand for it, that are trying to discredit us, they become the pariah. And that tide is shifting. And my stake in this is character and knowing what I know. I don't, if no one believes what I saw, even though there are videos and pictures and monumental amounts of testimony from others now, but still, if other people don't want to believe it, well, I believe it, and I was there. I'm not getting my information or what I saw secondhand from someone that was there that I trust, or someone that something that I read and made my own analysis of. I was there. I witnessed it with my own eyes. So regardless if anybody else doesn't want to believe me, if that were the case, I know a lot of people do believe it because they see it. But for those that don't believe it, it doesn't bother me because I believe me.
Yeah. I mean, were you asked to shoot as well? Or you
Well, we
just
were all
witnessed them
given
doing
weapons, non-lethal weapons such as stun grenades, tear gas, pepper spray, um, stun grenades with tear gas
it?
combination, and given rifles, pistols, fully automatic rifles, lethal ammunition. And the thing is that none of those contractors, none of the contractors there were ever quote unquote asked to shoot. But the government, or excuse me, the GHF, the contractor, provided us with no rules of engagement, no standard operating procedures, no training on the use of these non-lethal munitions. And people may think, oh, well, it's intuitive on how you use a stun grenade. Well, that's not true. Any type of equipment to this such, you should be trained on before you use it. No training received.
Yeah.
And the only guidance we were given were that if you feel threatened or if in doubt, shoot first, shoot to kill. And I never fired my rifle nor my pistol one time, not once. Didn't have the need to. Wasn't a threat. Didn't have to employ or use one stun grenade or one spray of tear gas or any of the measures because there was never a threat. There was never a threat. The UG Solutions contractors resorted to shooting at and tear gassing and stun grenading unarmed civilians who were seeking food. They resorted to those tactics as a way to control the crowds, and that's a war crime. You don't use lethal ammunition and potentially lethal non-lethal munitions in their application when not trained to control a crowd. So it was never a matter of being asked to shoot. The majority of these contractors that were there, because they were hired through the Infidels Motorcycle Club, didn't have to be asked to shoot. They wanted to. They saw their participation or being on this contract to Gaza as a self-titled crusade. If you
Yep.
look up the Infidels Motorcycle Club, they are a U.S.-based gang. They are a motorcycle club gang, and this particular gang, their charter as a club is to fight jihad globally and to eliminate all Muslims from the earth. They take their charter from the First Crusades under Pope Urban, where Pope Urban said very similar in his edict to the Crusaders to wipe the Muslim scum off the earth, his words. And you now consider these American contractors who espouse this belief, who cover themselves in tattoos of crusader shields and the words infidel and 1095, the year of the First Crusades. So for the majority, for the vast majority of the contractors that were there, they didn't have to be asked. They wanted to.
Wow. Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but Israel is actually a human being, a person in the Bible. It's not a state. And it talks about his family, his sons, his 12 sons. And it's based on that. It's not based. And in the Bible, they got their land, their promised land. They got it. It was fulfilled. They don't need to get a state. It's already been fulfilled biblically, and it's over. It's over. They can go anywhere in the world and as far as Muslims, I would love to see them convert. I would like to see them, because I see it as a false religion. I read the book and I said, God did not write this. 6-year-old bride. No, I don't think so. I don't think God had any part in that. So I can see what's obvious to me, that this is a false religion. But I don't see Muslims as an enemy. I see the radicalization of even Christianity. Look at Jim Jones. He killed his entire everyone in his congregation. He killed them all. So radicalism can happen in any religion, but if you read the book, it's plain and simple that this is not a holy book at all. Neither is the Talmud. That one's even worse than the Quran. And they're all fighting each other. The Christians, the Muslims, and the Talmud all talk about Jesus. Even when they don't believe in him, they say he's not real. They're all still talking about it, and they all have a different version of it. So either one of them is lying, or two. I mean, two of them are lying, or they're all lying. So that's what reading all their books has uncovered for me, is that it looks as though truth and lies have been mixed together to divide mankind. And I think they're using the flag of a holy man, who's Jacob. His name was changed to Israel, and they're standing behind the flag of who he was, to justify killing anybody they want and doing whatever they want and getting away with it. They're not a part of the nuclear non-proliferation treaty. They refuse to sign that. And but they're like the only country I know that can get away with anything and get supported by everyone. It's just unbelievable. And that's the importance of this day, this story, is because you were there. You're not getting a we're not a news channel promoting with an objective to convince you of something. We're going firsthand information right from the source, someone who was there. And my heart breaks for the Palestinians, what they've gone through the last 75 years. They've had to put up with this open air prison, with the threat of shutting their water off, and using Mossad agents to fire rockets into Israel just to justify uh, taking over. It's so sad that they could hide behind a religious ideology. Meanwhile, they they hate us. They hate Christians. Meanwhile, we've got Zionists in senators in the states that are, pro-Israel, pro-war. Whatever war comes around, we're going to support them. They're just die hard. And meanwhile, they're supporting people that don't care about them, that want to destroy them. It's just bizarre that they haven't realized the situation. Could it be they're under threat or financially compromised? I mean, I wouldn't accept money. I don't think
Well,
you would.
the members of Congress, of our U.S. Congress, in both the House of Representatives and the Senate, are unquestionably compromised.
Yeah.
Compromised by either blackmail, compromised by finance, or both. And there are some that are compromised by blackmail, who also take APAC money, who also believe in the religious zealotness of this effort, and
Yeah.
that who confiscate and lie and obfuscate Judaism with Zionism.
Yeah.
These perspectives in the Greater Israel Project, or the Pax Judaica, is Zionism. And
Yeah.
Zionism is not compatible with humanity. And
No.
Zionism is
Yeah.
not Judaism.
No.
Zionism does not represent world Jewry. Ask
No.
any Jew around the world who would say that no, we aren't Zionists.
Yeah.
Zionism is a dangerous, toxic plague on earth, and it doesn't represent religion. It represents nationalistic, racist, colonial ideology.
Yeah, it does. Now you have tried to run. Are you still running in the next election? North
Oh yeah,
Carolina?
yeah. My campaign is just getting started, and here
Yeah,
in
good.
North Carolina, District
District
13,
13.
I
Yes,
am running for Congress.
right on. I'm proud of you.
We
You
have a really
for
good chance. I would say that we are going to win under the condition that people come out to vote. I
Mhm,
simply mean getting out there and voting and exercising the most sacred of our constitutional and civic rights in
mhm.
voting. Enough people aren't voting, and I'll give you a breakdown of that looking at my district. District 13 is a district of 780,000 people, about 600,000 eligible voters.
Mhm.
And in the primary, I did not have to run in the primary because I'm already on the ballot for the general election. So I didn't have to run in the primary. So in the primary, you saw the Republicans nominee won with 43,000 votes, not 143,000, not 243,000, 43,000. And
Hmm.
the Democrat representative nominee won with 34,000 votes. So these two individuals won their respective primary with a totality of voters less than the number of people that live in my neighborhood. And this county or this district is 8 counties large. Again, 780,000 people, 600,000 eligible voters. And if in the general, if people just come out and vote, when they open that ballot book and they go down from senators to congressmen to local commissioners to judges, etc., and
Mhm.
they see, probably one of the most important races of the midterms is obviously U.S. Federal elections for Congress. My name's on the ballot. You don't have to pencil me in. You don't have to petition. I'm on it. And if people show up and vote, we can win this election by a landslide. And if people show up to vote who are tired of the duopoly and the binary control of the Democratic Republican Party and see that they have options and they have choices, we will win this election without question.
Mhm. So you're Anthony AGU 88102 on X.
That's on X, yes.
I
And if
found
you
you
want
on
to
X.
follow me out there, I do have a campaign website where you can learn more about my campaign, donate, etc.
Awesome. Yeah, I just found you. I've been
Yep.
looking for you. Um, but I don't blame you. You're not on Facebook, right? So you don't.
Not yet. I'm on all platforms except Facebook. Whenever I try to create a Facebook, I am continually blocked by Meta. So I'm still attempting to create a Facebook page.
Yeah, they gave me a warning. I told everyone I was leaving on Monday the 31st is my final New Year's Eve party, uh, going through midnight. And Meta just a few days ago gave me a warning. They want to use advanced protection. That I require advanced protection. If I don't do it by April 3rd, they're going to block me from my account. So I said, God is really working with me because I had already planned to leave. So, I feel really protected because of my faith. My faith is pretty strong. So I trust my gut. It's like my gut is better than my brain or my heart, like your gut.
Well, yeah, the your gut instinct is ancient in its feeling and goes back to our times of survival. So your gut, your faith, and your beliefs are a strong and dependable thing to follow at times.
No, I hope you win District 12, North Carolina. Anybody out
District
there?
13.
Oh, sorry, District 13, North Carolina. If you know anyone in that district, I know I have some friends in the U.S., and we do want to get the right people, and it's hard. It's hard because on both sides they've got corruption everywhere, I mean, it's really hard to drain a swamp when both teams are in on it. And, just like the Emergencies Act, tomorrow's show, I've got Jody Ledgerwood, Chris Weisdorf, and Vincent Gerses coming on in the afternoon. And they're going to talk about Adam Skelly case where um, they used the Emergencies Act to take over and change his locks and shut down his business, basically. And so they lost that case, but uh, uh, oh, sorry, yeah, they're going to same with Randy Hillier. Uh, they lost their case, so they're going to the Supreme Court to use the judges they appointed, as if that's going to help anything. So we've got the appointed judges making the final decisions on uh, the illegal use of the Emergencies Act, and Trump is the father of the mRNA. So I don't know how you feel about Trump and the president of
Oh,
peace.
I'll tell you in
Sure.
one word how I feel about Trump: disgusted.
Yeah,
He's an abomination. He is a threat to democracy, and he is a threat to the planet. He is a threat to mankind.
But it's almost biblical. They've got a coin now with Cyrus, the builder, the king of Babylon, basically, and they put Trump and him together on a coin. Israel gave him the crown, the Prince of Peace award, and my God, they're really pushing this biblical end. And in 2002, Colonel, you probably know him, Wesley Clark, he was in the Pentagon. They said they're going to do all these wars, Libya, Syria. He named them all off, ending with Iran. So Iran is the last one.
That's
There's,
right.
Their end game is happening right as we speak. So it is scary. It's all unnatural. This is not the way we are. When we're born, when we're babies, we could be sitting beside a Chinese baby, an African baby, and there would be no war. There would be no hate. That's all unnatural. What we're going through right now is all like social engineering to hate each other. And I hate to say it, but even the religions have been involved in that. In my research, I read all their books because I want to hear what everyone has to say. It's not saying I'm going to convert. It's just like, okay, let me hear what you have to say, and I'll use my gut instinct to propel me in a direction if I feel it. But I haven't been sold by any of them. I have found truth in their books, but I also found lies, which I find really disturbing. That's like safe and effective. I find a disturbing tool that they use all the time when it comes to medical interventions. Uh, one person dies, it's no longer safe and effective. You can't call it that. To me, that's criminal complicity. And the fear campaign that we went through in 2020 with the daily case numbers used based on false overcycled PCR test. So they constantly had this big number, even though these people weren't even sick, because of the abuse of the testing tool that they used. So this is really end days kind of stuff, and I appreciate you so much. I can't say it enough because we need people like you that are willing to put it all on the line, risk everything, because you didn't go into military to harm people. That wasn't your goal, but to protect your country and its values and your values. And you saw a darkness that nobody else sees. We don't see that. They don't show us that.
No, they do not. And when I it sometimes gives me pause when I think about my military service and that the last 25 years, so the last quarter century, from 2000 to 2025, I fought in every war that this country has been involved in. Iraq, boots on the ground. Syria, boots on the ground. Afghanistan, boots on the ground. Yemen, Somalia, Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt, Tajikistan. Most Americans don't even know we were fighting a war against ISIS-K in Tajikistan. The southern Philippines in the Moro Islamic Liberation Front and Operation Enduring Freedom. So the things that I've seen and the experience that I have, when I look at what's happening with this current war, with Operation Epic Fury,
Yeah.
I am scared about the direction that this president is leading us in, because he has no exit strategy. And as you just mentioned and kind of talked us through, is that when you link the ambitions of the Greater Israel Zionist Project to this war, this seventh war, that there is a high probability for Israel to use nuclear weapons, or for the United States to use its nuclear weapons in defense of Israel.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, they say New Babylon's destroyed by fire, and that could very well be a nuclear bomb in where we live. I'm very close to New York City, so I would expect that would be a target. But I try to be positive, but I don't really think there's a lot of positive going on. I want to give hope, but I don't feel the hope. I feel like we're just like mentally preparing ourselves for what could be, and whether the Book of Revelations is unfolding right before our very eyes, which ends in fire over here in North America. I do see Trump fulfilling the little horn, which is a Jew's harp, is a Trump. I mean, what? I mean, all these correlations and parallels with the word Trump, even, and Jared, being the sixth from Adam, uh, and being 6'3", and his 666 building down the street from Trump Tower, financed by our prime minister company, Brookfield, which bailed him out. So it's like we're all connected here. It's a shame that he gave people hope that he was going to drain the swamp. He really did. People really, and still believe him. And it makes me sad, because I think he's just doing the bidding of the people that bailed him out, the international banking cartel, and that would be our prime minister in Canada here. He's part of that.
Well, there's also a reason that all the nations that we're threatening or take action against, Venezuela, Iran, Cuba, are nations that do not have a central banking system. That's not a coincidence.
Yep. And Russia kicked them out, and yeah, it's always them, isn't it? And they suddenly become the dictator. If Trump freed his country, he would be the dictator. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question in my mind whatsoever that the administration, and not just Trump, but but the entire administration is manipulated, blackmailed, and doing the bidding of Zionists, doing the bidding of the elite oligarch rich. The names of the people that are in control of this are names that we've never heard. Yeah. Kushner, he's not in charge of it. Trump, he's not in charge of it. Milikowski, or who other people call Netanyahu, he's not in charge of it. The people that are in charge of this are names that we've never heard, with power, control, and riches beyond imagination.
Yep.
And the reason they can do what they do is because we, the people, at least from in the United States, our founding document of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights, we, the people, have given that power away.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of their wealth and power is stolen money. Like they've infiltrated the Vatican 100%. The Rothschilds, like Pepe Orsini, is like the top dog, and nobody knows him. And he's like the gray pope, the top. and they own an island in Antarctica where none of us can go, and they have a land there. So obviously, and the compound interest, the usury, that's all stolen money. All their power is stolen. So they're definitely criminals, but they're not stupid. And I see Jared Kushner as a big player. He made the Abraham Accord. He got the what do you call it? The move to Jerusalem. Uh,
The
I,
U.S. Embassy moved to Jerusalem from
yes,
Tel Aviv.
yep. And he also is a member and created the Board of Peace. So
Oh, yes.
he is a big player in. I see him as Trump's handler. Honestly, he got to Trump through the daughter Ivanka. He converted her to Judaism. 2017, he converted Trump to Judaism. So I see him as a biblical someone who's going to rise up. He's got his hands in everything. So even the building 666, he on Fifth Avenue in New York City, he paid 1.8 billion, which is 600,000 or 600 million times three. It doesn't get. There's so many things that point to this guy. And he's young. He's very tall, 6'3". I mean, he's a tall guy. So is Barron Trump. I thought Barron would have been the heir apparent. If Trump should fall, he would, as king, the king of New Babylon, which is what they're trying to do here. They're trying to make him the king. That's what joining Canada and Greenland, and that's his area, and he's the top king of the Board of Peace. So I mean, it's a very biblical times, and it is people like you that are helping people just to see things that have been hidden by our mainstream media and our social engineers, our controllers, our dominators. Do you
Well,
know?
it's very powerful and manipulative and
Yeah,
psychological in terms of the Western media or the corporate controlled media like Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, or any major news outlet that operates on, on standard cable television. They're all mouthpieces of the Zionist regime and the Zionist project. They are, and
yep.
it's very difficult to break through that, to seek alternate sources of information, but also there requires a level of self-awareness in
Hmm.
that there are many in America that fully support this war with Iran, that still think that this is about protecting America, that still
Yeah,
think that fighting this war with Iran or supporting it is patriotic. And it's it's because of misinformation, disinformation, manipulation, and psychological control through the media. But also there are people that just they can't accept the truth and the reality of the fact that the United States has now just become
a proxy.
a proxy, yes,
Yeah.
in the greater Zionist project, the greater Israel, this plan of which is controlled by the ultra elite, rich and powerful,
Yep.
Rothschilds, and even people above them. Like I said, the people that are truly in control and the cabal of power are names we've never heard. And
Yep.
as a nation, we have a choice to continue to be controlled and manipulated and have all of our blood, treasure, lives, and resources squandered for Israel and the greater Israel project and Israel's wars, or
Hmm.
we can stand up for ourselves and demand that an out to those people in our Congress and in our government and take our government back. Because if we don't, if anyone thinks um, that this administration, Trump, Kushner, Hegseth, Rubio, Mike Huckabee, are not leading us down a path of self-destruction for Israel,
Yeah.
then it's time for a wake-up call.
Yep. And even in Canada here, it's like we have to just get them all out of office, protect them. See, I'm not in a punitive mind of thinking, but protect them, find out, where it's coming from, where the orders are being, where they're coming from, who's involved, and start arresting them, and replace them with people that aren't compromised. And it's like that has to happen in the States too. And my fear, of course, is if you free yourself, you automatically become Saddam Hussein. You know what I mean? As soon
Yeah.
as you try to save your country and free them and allow them to prosper and, unlock the technology that we have that they won't allow.
Well, as soon as you attempt to unlock your country from the central bank and nationalize your own resources and control your resources and bring prosperity to your country, what you go by the way of Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi,
Yep.
and Venezuela's president,
Yep. So it's amazing
Maduro.
that the hardest part for me in the 1990s was finding out that we were actually the bad guy all along. And that breaks my heart because we always thought we were the good guy. They really have convinced us we were peacekeepers.
Mm-hmm. Well,
And
we do it in terms of we call our conflicts and things like uh, Operation Desert Shield,
yeah,
Operation Enduring Freedom,
yep,
Operation Iraqi Freedom, and young men and women that sign up to serve the military and think that they're serving their country and doing their patriotic duty simply become tools in the machine of the bad guy.
yep. Jean, have you heard of Jean Dixon? She was like the psychic for Nixon and um,
Mm-hmm.
another
Yes,
president.
I'm familiar. I'm not.
She predicted the
Yeah, but I'm
blonde
familiar
hair,
with the name.
but she predicted Donald Trump. She said he's not a hero, but he's not a villain. He's a catalyst. So I see that as quite possible. But she predicted that he would rise in 2016 when he won the election, and that he would fall in 2020, but he would rise again, but not finish his term. And she basically said March was the um, big moment for mankind, which would explain the Jeffrey Epstein and the also the Iran war. Another prediction is April 5th. Um, there would be missiles between Israel and Iran, which is happening already. But it's just weird all these predictions from far away. She said, Jean Dixon said that Trump would disappear in November. He would just be gone. That all these systems that have been controlling us will be obsolete basically at that point. So I'm not sure what this means on a spiritual level. I think she's basically saying their power over us will be gone. So we will have to become the teachers, become the firemen. We'll have to replace these people because their power will no longer uh, have any hold over us at that point. So it's definitely an exciting year. Biblical, all the arrows, Nostradamus, all these predictions are heading into July is the next phase, and then this November the final step. And she basically said Trump is just going to be gone. So I don't know where he's going. She says he doesn't get assassinated. He's not impeached, and he doesn't resign. He just is gone. So I don't know what that means, but I
Well, I
do.
think because of his health, but also the mental distress. If you watch the man over the last
Yes.
week and a half, he has become very um,
Yeah, I have.
mentally and emotionally unhinged. I
Yeah,
think there's probably an element of dementia, but also
yep.
um, furthered by the fact of the stress of this, the moral corruption of his own
Yeah,
consciousness. That
yeah.
um, there's
I think you're
there's a
right.
chance that, yeah, he's not going to be assassinated and he's not going to be impeached. He may just die.
Yeah, I've seen a doctor make a report on him saying that he looks like he had a stroke because his lip was drooping there, but he did recover, and he doesn't see him living in 2 to 4 months. So this all aligns with everything else.
Mhm.
All I know is I think we're going to be free after November, but no one's going to really they're going to try to come back and take back control, and I don't know what that means or what it looks like, but Gene Dixon said, "Don't let them take back control because we're not going to have any captain on the ship, you know. So we have to install ourselves as good people to undo. And this isn't just North America. This is everywhere, every country. They're all going through the same thing. It's a mankind thing that's going to happen, and you know, Trump is the catalyst, no doubt about that. But I liked that she said he's not a villain. You know, that I can see him being compromised. I can see they could get him to do anything if his daughter was under threat with Jared. They would definitely have power over him because, he's very family oriented. I respect him because his children respect him. And, I observed him on his show, The Apprentice, where it showed his employees respected him. Uh, I seen his buildings were beautiful. So he's 100% fulfills the Cyrus uh, um, label. I mean, he's definitely an amazing builder like Cyrus, and he definitely likes the compliments. So I think he may see himself as a king, and justifiably, in his own mind. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's getting to him. I think he may be challenged with his faith. Only he could tell. I mean, I would love to have him on the show, but I don't think he would want to, and I'd probably get killed because I'm too honest.
Yeah, I
They,
mean, I think that if you just watching him over the last um, 3 weeks, 21 days, after probably the first few, I do believe, regardless of what we're seeing in propaganda from Israel, I believe that Netanyahu is dead. I believe that Netanyahu was killed on the night of the 8th into the morning of the 9th by that strike,
yes. Yep.
because when Donald Trump came to the West Wing for that ceremony, the Medal of Honor ceremony, the night after that, he looked like someone told him that his own father died. I
Yep.
think that weighed on him very, very heavily. And I think
Hmm.
that's also invoked in him a sense of fear, that if Netanyahu could be killed, that he could also. And I don't think there's a risk of him being assassinated or
No,
taken out. But
no.
I do fear that it's weighing on him heavily, and because of his already deteriorating health,
Yep.
um, I there's every indication that he may have suffered a stroke. The random emergency hospital visit that no one knows what it was for, but the
Hmm.
seeming change in his demeanor in many ways, that's quite possible. But also the immense amount of stress and what's weighing on his morality and his consciousness.
Yeah.
I It's something that I could see that he were to, die of some type of physical ailment while in office. Not an overthrow or an impeachment
Yep.
conviction or an assassination. His just dying of his own health.
Yeah. And Jared Kushner also, you know, when he was a child, he played in Netanyahu's house. His Netanyahu used to go to his house. He was
They
friends with
shared
his
bunk beds
father.
together.
Yeah. So the
When
connection.
Jared Kushner was young and Netanyahu was visiting, because he would go back and forth, because after he graduated from MIT, he worked for the Boston Consulting Group,
Yep.
and he would visit and stay there. He's like an uncle to Jared Kushner, and he would, stay. They would share. They shared bunk beds together when they were young.
Yep. So I mean, he's been well programmed all his life to fulfill his role, and he's not afraid to get a building that's numbered 666. I mean, to me, it's obvious. Even the Trump Tower has a 666 on it that no one sees. It's above ground. It's like up 10 floors or something, and it's trees, and it's an upside down triangle. Like he has his hands all the time like this.
Mm.
But that's what it is. It's an upside down triangle, 6 by 6 by 6. And if you look at the top, looking down from his tower, there's 7 bumps, so 7 hills.
Mm.
As you can see, I research a lot, and
Yeah.
but really, my faith guides me in these directions. I'm not just all over the place. I really have, like, I'm really put in that path because I want to know. I want to know the truth. And that building is actually a spell. It's an invocation of a perpetual invocation of power over you. That's what the upside down triangle means, power
Mm.
over you. So when you're on top of the tower looking down, and he has a penthouse up there. So
Yeah.
when you're on the top looking down, it is the triangle's right up, right side up, but only he sees it that way. So
Mm.
this is 1983 when he built this building, and he was young, a lot younger, and so maybe he knew all along what the building represented. But I see it as like a spell, power over the people, perpetual, and it certainly seemed to have worked in his benefit because he ended up, hosting The Apprentice, and that was like conditioning people to see him as reputable, honorable, firing people, who did shady things. So he really built his position in advance of becoming president, as though that was the plan all along. But Jared didn't hide it one bit. I wouldn't, even if I was, even Satanists don't actually worship Satan. A lot of people don't know that, but they actually don't worship Satan.
Mm.
And I covered that with my last show. But
Mm.
so even as a Luciferian, buying a building with that number on it, that would be too much uh, giveaway. You would think they would want to hide their allegiance to the devil. But
Yeah, I think that they are so uh, emboldened and empowered and enabled that they feel like they don't have to.
yeah, well, I can't believe it's been an hour. I know we could go for hours. I just had that.
There's always so much to discuss with
Yeah,
this current world that we are in.
but I mean, if there's something you wanted to talk about and just have it archived, feel free to do that now, and we'll hold back on finishing up today. But I did want to tell you I appreciate your time and everything you've done. It means a lot to me and to my followers, or a lot of whistleblowers have been on this show,
Mm.
and I admire. It takes courage. It does. You take risks in trying to free your own country. Even as a leader, all your friends could turn on you. Iran-Iraq war went on forever, and the CIA was giving intel to both sides and supplying weapons to both sides.
Hmm.
This is what the bankers have been doing all along: is getting rich off the blood of mankind, a blood that never needed to happen. And hopefully,
Yes.
with your efforts, and after November, if Gene Dixon's prediction comes true, that people like yourself and me too, I hope, will be able to fill these positions and give comfort and protect the future generations, the children, the next generation, from having to go through any of this ever again. I'm hopeful. I think we have to have hope, and never give up. So thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we go that I
No,
might?
no, I thought it was we covered quite a bit, and it was a great discussion, and I definitely learned some things that I'm going to continue to look into for my own edification. But
Sure.
No, I appreciate the opportunity to be to join you. It was great.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, and I wish you all the best in the future. And if there's an opportunity, I've connected now with you on X, so
Yeah.
I will be continuing on X. So I hope
Okay.
opportunity comes again that you will come back and join me again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, I'm on X, so I will follow you there. And if there's anything that you feel would be an opportunity for us to have another conversation about a specific topic or events or state of affairs, just hit me up.
I will. I promise. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Anthony.
All right.
That was Anthony Aguilar. Very honored to have him on the show, and I'm honored to have you in the audience listening, sharing. I will be off Facebook in 8 days. So you want to join with me on X and Rumble and YouTube and all those other places tomorrow. Again, I have Jody Ledgerwood coming on and Vincent Garces, OPP, Ontario Provincial Police whistleblower, retired forensic investigator, and our brilliant friend Chris Weisdorf will be joining me as well to discuss the Adam Skelly case and the repercussions of that. So I hope to see you then. It'll be tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I look forward to seeing you then. And this reminds me of Anthony, this one clip.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!